Hello Blender folks, so here's a bug report that I'm making here about the Auto IQ option. So basically this is this option here, and I have a keyboard shortcut Alt X. So the thing here is that usually it seems that it only works with grabbing, right, with the grab tool, with grabbing. But it actually works also with rotations, not here, but if I go grab into rotation, so it's grabbed and then I press R, and then you see that okay, so first, one problem here, it's not appearing, you know, let's go back to G to grab. So you see there's the Auto IQ length, so it is showing there, but when I go on the R, I need to be on the grab first, then I can change the Auto IQ length, but it's not displaying. So this is already very confusing. I can, okay, let's go back to G. So why, while this thing is enabled, right, we just cannot press R to start the Auto IQ option. It doesn't. So maybe there's a reason, but I think this is inconsistent because this is a secret. It took me maybe 1 year to figure that it was even possible. But not only this. Okay, so this is one thing. Then that grab into rotation, right? Very bizarre thing. The other thing is that while we are in the rotation, there is no displaying of the and for some reason, I think there's a grab rotate. Okay, I wasn't able to switch, so I don't know why, but okay. Mouse will scroll, right? Okay, so, but those are primary problems. Maybe they are not bugs, maybe they are just inconsistencies, feature requests, maybe I'll do that also, but here to know. Then the more grave thing would be this one. If I grab into rotation, let's do the 4 because it will be simpler to see. Then I go rotate and notice that, okay, it is working. I can swap here. Okay, that seems fine. I can even rotate again to have this trackball or X, or rotate again to get this basic. Then X along global, Z along global, Z again, along local, X. So we have all these features, it's nice. But now let's return to the basic rotation, the first one, whatever. It doesn't matter which one is. The problem is that, okay, let's say that I want to validate, left click here. Okay, so this happens. It just disrupted my posing. For some reason, it sort of made some there's no bone constraints here, it just goes nuts. But look what I found out is that if we are doing the posing from the perspective of an unparented chain, because the last bone in the IQ chain, this one, is left unparented, while all these others are connected, parented one to the other, the previous one. Okay, so if we grab Auto IQ from here, we have a reverse IQ, right? We have a reverse IQ, and the tail of this bone is pinned to the ground or to the ceiling, whatever, it is pinned. So when I do reverse IQ in this way, you see it doesn't work here, but it works only for this bone. Okay, so these doesn't matter here, but assume I can do this reverse IQ by grabbing this bone. It is possible with Auto IQ option. And then if I go into grab rotate, and let's do something like this, all right? So try to remember the pose here that I try to visualize this crazy pose here, right? For all the bones, right? I'm gonna validate, and it will disrupt my pose, right? But I found out that if I regrab G, it returns to the what I wanted to validate through the rotation. And now I revalidate with G. So I press G and left click. And now I get the pose. So you see, this, I can do valid rotation with this. Memorize, please memorize this pose here. Validate, G, validate. So I have to do all this to get the rotation to work. And it only works in this case, peculiar case, where the bone, the last bone in the I key chain is left unparented, and I'm grabbing it, and many other factors. Okay, and then I need to do this trick G, right? Let's do it again. So G, R, validate, G, validate. Validate is left mouse, right? Click. So this is a big problem because it's a glitch, right? Or it's a bug, it's a glitch. So it doesn't allow us to rotate. And also, just before we do anything here, let me make a duplicate of this bone and let just parent offset here, so that now you know that this bone is not unparented anymore. It's a parented offset. And now I can't do the pinning. I cannot move the location of this bone for some reason. It's not the problem here. This is a question for another report. But GR, all right, it's doing some rotation, but let's see. Try to memorize this pose here. G, I mean validate, then G, validate. It doesn't work as I expected. So it doesn't work because this bone is parented offset. So worse than that. And now another big problem. Okay, so we cannot have this. The bone needs to be like that. So if I try to do this, the rotation fixing, like solve the glitch with I key, right? This was reverse I key, right? This is reverse I key. I cannot do reverse I key if I grab this bone. It's just for the last bone in the I key chain if it is unparented. So I can have reverse I key. So I can fix the glitch or resolve the rotation validation through the reverse I key if I do this in this condition. And the auto I key length needs to be bigger, different than 1. So it can be 0, but it needs to be usually bigger than 1. Yeah, different than 1. Okay, so here I can grab into rotation, validate, then grab, well, what happened? G. Okay, rotation is here, sorry. So rotation, let's do G, validate, we got it. Okay, let's reset. So now let's do this from the perspective of the rotation, right? The grab into rotation from the perspective of the I key. So this is I key. This is I key for these 3 bones. But this will be F key. This is I key for this, and F key for this. And this is, well, this is reverse I key. All right. So let's do the grab into rotation with the I key. G, R. Okay, so everything seems to be working, but then I pay attention. Validate. Okay. It ruined the pose. That's expected because it's a bug. A glitch, maybe a bug. Yeah, then G, validate. You see, nothing happens. So this nothing happens is because it doesn't work with I key. It just works with reverse I key. So I can try with this one, which will also be I key. So G, I'm doing the same steps, folks. G, R, memorize this, validate, G, validate. So it doesn't work. So it just works if I grab this G, R, memorize, G, validate. There it is. So yeah, there's at least 3 inconsistencies here. 5 I counted. So I'm gonna list them, and this is the thing. So please try to reproduce this, but it's very easy if you know the tricks, and that's it. Thanks, folks. Hope this can be useful.